Hey guys, Brian here. I'm back after 7 days on Ronen's challenge, so we're gonna give you a quick update on this 2020 Cascadia. Let's get it done. Hey guys, I'm back. 7 days I've had this truck now. Ronen's 90-day challenge. I've had the truck for the first 7 of that 90, and here we go. I'm gonna give you a little rundown on some of the things that I like and some of the things I don't like. I've done about 31, almost 3,200 miles. So I've got an indication of how certain things are working and how it feels. So I'm just gonna give you a little rundown on that right now. Hey guys, I've just been informed that only 13% of all the people that watch our videos subscribe. Where's the rest of you 87%? Come on, give us a subscription, give us a like, we'll see you down the road. Let's start with a couple of the things that I like. The first one is gonna go out to all the guys that put in the comments that were, oh yeah, Bri, you just wait till you get that truck and you're running across the bumps and the rough ride and all the shaking and you know, it's a shaker. You know, I know it's a shaker, but you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I ran 69 east and west twice doing this, okay? Now, anybody that knows 69 in Michigan knows that you basically have to duct tape your parts to your truck or they're gonna fall off going across that highway. So I've gone across it twice, east and west, in this truck. And I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. You know what? It was not that bad. It was comparable to the Volvo. I haven't gone across it in a Pete or anything else, but I'm going based on what I did in the Kenworth and what I did in the Volvo, and it wasn't that bad. Was it rough? Yeah, it was rough, but it's 69 and it's a crap road. But was it as bad as I was anticipating, having to hold on to the wheel and buckle myself in with 14 seatbelts and everything to just because the ride was going to be bad? It wasn't. The ride on this is fairly smooth. It absorbs bumps well, and it does handle well. It's a 2020, so it's still fairly new. It's only a year and a half old. So it's not having any problems. It's not leaning one way or the other. It's not drifting off the road. The alignment on it is fine. So I don't really have any problem with the way the truck drove down the road. And especially, like I said, going across Michigan. It took the bumps, it took the bangs. Both times, both ways I was going, I was loaded heavy. I had 44,000 going out and I had 41 and a half coming back. So when I was hitting the bumps, I was hitting them at you know, a decent speed. There's 3 construction zones you got to go through. The road's tore up and it's pretty rough. And I will be 100% honest with you, this truck did not do that bad. I was anticipating hearing crap inside the truck, shaking and rattling and everything. And I really didn't hear anything. I could hear more stuff inside my cabinets rattling around. You know, the cabinet above me here, I've got cans of soup and stuff like that. I could hear that rattling, but I didn't hear any of the cupboards or anything like that rattling. So I'm gonna say it's a thumbs up on that part. And any of the guys that were in the comments of the last video going, oh, you just wait. Well, I waited, I ran it. Now, that's not to say, you know, a year from now, you know, it's a new truck. Things are gonna loosen up, obviously. And we may be having a different conversation a year, maybe 2 years from now. But on a year and a half old truck, you know what? This isn't bad. The truck did well going across the highway. The next thing I'm going to talk about, actually, it's sort of related, to driving it, is I liked how quiet the truck was. Okay, I wound this thing out, 60, 62, 63, whatever. This truck is very quiet. This DD15 motor is quiet. I was on the phone with Jer, and I sat there and I had to tell him, I said, like, dude, I almost got to put my hand on the dash up here, running at 62 miles an hour to make sure that this thing's running. It's really, really quiet, and it's really comfortable. I like the front setback axle on the steers. I was in a couple of positions where I was in some tight positions, and the truck did really well. I love the way this truck handles, the way it steers, the way it moves. You put it into a tight position, it almost asks you, you know, what do you want to do? It'll drive out. You can put it anywhere you want, and it'll drive itself out. I've heard a lot of guys complain about the mirrors on these Freightliners, but I came out of a Volvo where I had brackets on the top and brackets on the bottom. This only has the bracket on the bottom. Now the mirror is not quite as big as the Volvo, But you know what? I really like this. There's no distraction, especially on the passenger side mirror. When I'm at an intersection and I'm looking to see oncoming cars coming from the passenger side, I don't have a bracket up there. I've got a smaller mirror. I can catch all the oncoming traffic a lot better in this than I could in the Volvo and in the Kenworth. I think in my opinion, I think it's a cleaner look, and I think it's just easier to see. I don't have to turn like this. I still sometimes got to move, but I'm not having to get out of my seat to look around that mirror. I like the way these mirrors are designed. I spoke briefly before about the seat, but now I'm gonna I've been on the thing for 3,000 plus miles. You know, it's nothing fancy, but it is a comfortable seat. I can change this thing up about 5 or 6 different ways depending on what I'm doing and where I'm going. With my hips and with my knees and with my back and with my shoulders and my arthritis and I'm just a whiny snot little baby sometimes when it comes to driving. I want to be wrapped in a marshmallow when I'm driving down the road for comfort, but that's not going to happen. But you know what, this seat does pretty good. The next thing I want to quickly just talk about is my line of sights out of all my windows and the windshield. I came out of the Kenworth, so I was a little cramped in there, and the visor was low, and your vision wasn't the greatest. But I had a Volvo for 7 years before that, and the vision on that was great. I used to call it the fishbowl effect. You're just like a fish inside a fishbowl, and you're looking out because you've got so much. This is pretty damn close to that. I've got no problems with the size of these windows. My windscreen and my windshield is a decent size on these. I've got a good line of sight. I don't ever have to do this. Occasionally, actually, I had to do it in the Volvo, especially if you're in the States and they've got the lights and the lights that are hanging in the middle of the intersection. So to see the red light or green light to change, you got to lean forward like this and you got to look up. I haven't had to do that with this yet. I like as well, and again, I spoke briefly when I first got the truck. I like how everything is set up here, that I don't have to really take my eyes off the road to get anything. I can adjust all my AC controls from here. I can adjust the stereo from here without looking, but I've actually got the controls on the steering wheel, so that's a really nice feature. You got your cruise control, your Bluetooth, your stereo. It's all right here on the steering wheel, and once you know where it is, you can adjust and do whatever you want without taking your eyes off the road. Now the front console, I got no problem with it. It's not fancy, and I think that's what I liked about my Volvo. At one time I did a video and we were talking about, they were doing the introduction to my truck. I said my Volvo had, the 14 Volvo had the old style console, and I liked it because it wasn't overly complicated. There wasn't a lot to it. This is very much like that. If you look at the new Volvos, they're almost a little too much. It's too much distraction, too much eye candy, too much color, too much bling. I like simple. I've got 6 gauges on this truck. I like that. Everything that I really need to function, to get down the road, is right there. I don't need anything else. If I need something else, I can pull over and go to another screen and get it. I really like that. Uncomplicated, good. This is the part of the video that's gonna hurt me and make Ronen very, very, very happy. Now, I just got to the yard, so I haven't had a chance to check with Ronen, but I was talking to him yesterday. The dash on this truck is showing that on 3,100 miles, this truck is doing 9 miles per gallon. Now, I've gone pretty much everywhere. It's not like I've just been sitting on flat ground. I've run PA, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Northern Michigan. I ran 17 from the 401 all the way up to Sault Ste. Marie, so that's a lot of pulls. That's pretty much uphill all the way up to the Sioux. So I've done everything with the truck. The only thing I haven't done is say I haven't crossed like Fancy Gap, or I haven't gone across the Coke or something like that. And we're going to with this truck, so we get a really good number and see what that thing does. But for 3,100 miles, I've done a lot of terrain with it. This truck, the gauge is showing me 9.1 miles per gallon. Now, I don't believe anything, so I've been keeping track, doing it the old-fashioned way. I put this many gallons in, the gauge tells me how many miles I've run, so I've been doing it pencil and paper. Now, my number comes up at 9 miles per gallon, and then I was talking with Ronen yesterday, and his computer, which is wired into this thing, is telling him that I'm doing 8.9 miles per gallon. Now, if I wasn't driving this truck, I wouldn't believe it. If I was talking to Jer or Dave on the phone, they said, oh yeah, I'm going down the road, I got 3,100 miles and my truck's doing 9 miles a gallon, I'd say you're full of no way. But because I'm doing this and I'm looking at it and I'm the one putting the fuel in it, this truck is doing, let's just say averaging, it's going between 8.9 miles per gallon and 9.1, whichever one of these three you want to believe.
So Brian, I'm so happy that you brought this up. I really believe that a lot of our YouTube subscribers and a lot of our fans actually don't believe when we say that our trucks are getting 8.99, 9.1 miles per gallon. I think this is a really great point that you made. I'm so happy that you've accepted this challenge. I hope that I'm so happy that you are a numbers guy and you are not believing my data and you're actually writing the data for yourself, because I feel like the audience is really going to relate to you a lot more than they can relate to me. I mean, what do I know? I'm just sitting behind the desk. So let's continue with the video.
My next load going out to Chicago is actually only 24,000 pounds, so I might catch a break. The mileage might go up a bit. But I've been pulling a good variety of weights, and I've been pulling some heavy, and the load going from the 401 all the way up 17, all the way up to Sault Ste. Marie, pounds up that hill. And when I got to the Sioux, it was at 8.3. If that was my Volvo, I'd have been in the low 6s, high 5s. The Kenworth, I won't even talk about what that would have done. Okay, I would have had to stop and fill it between there before I got to the Sioux.
So let's talk a little bit about that Kenworth. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to tap into the stats because it's an older truck, and the technology that we have today cannot read the stats off that truck. But if I was to take a guess at what that W900 used to do, what it used to produce, with the roll tights, I'm thinking it probably produced around 5.2 to 5.4. We never really talked about this with Brian. I knew it was definitely getting well under 6 and pulling roll tights. The difference between 6 and 9, I mean, I could do a whole video on that, but we're not going to get into that right now. But I really think that the W900 was producing around 5.2, 5.4 miles per gallon.
This hurts because Ronen's going to be doing a happy dance.
A happy dance. I think it's premature for me to do the happy dance, but I promise you, after the 90-day challenge, if Brian admits that this truck is better than the W900 and better than the Volvo, I will do a happy dance on camera.
But let's just say the truck's doing 8.9 miles per gallon and I'm pulling a roll tight. I'm pulling a roll tight. I'm not pulling a van with the skirts and all the fancies. The roll tights in our fleet, they stick out 6 inches farther than the side of the truck. So I'm actually eating more air. I have to estimate that if I had a van, I'd probably be in the 9.1 to 9.2. If I had all the same weights, went all the same places, this truck would have run over 9 miles per gallon. And that hurts. I effing hate to say that. I was expecting this truck to be, 8 miles per gallon, 7.9. This sucks. It doesn't suck if you're buying one or you're thinking of buying one. It doesn't suck because the trucks it's impressive, but it sucks because I was actually really not wanting it to perform this well, and damn it, it did. Now, like I said, this is only 7 days. This is all I got in 7 days. So these are a couple of the things, what I've just listed off here, things that I like and that I'm kind of impressed with. Okay, so a couple of the things that I'm not impressed with. And I've been I'll be honest with you, I've been looking really, really hard trying to pick this thing apart. Like I said, I thought I was gonna have a rough ride and this was gonna shake me all over. It didn't. The things that I'm not impressed with, and I don't know if these are just petty, but they're creature comforts. And the first one for me is the electrical plugs up front here. Coming out of the Volvo, I was spoiled because I had one here, I had one here, or here, I had another one here, and then I had 2 more over here. So I had 5 that I could plug into, and I could plug and run all my devices. This one here, there's only 2. There's one here beside the stereo, and there's another one down here. And so in order for me to run, for example, I've got my Rand McNally GPS, it's plugged in. So I've had to run the wire back and down and run down the side. I've got my tablet, which I have to run my e-log on, that has to stay plugged in. I need a phone charger up here, charge my phone. What am I gonna charge? What else am I gonna charge with a phone charger, right? So I need all of those, and in doing so with the way they've got it here, I've had no choice but to go and buy one of the type of plugins where you plug into one and it's got 3 outlets or 3 more plugs coming off of it. And from there, I've had to plug in this, plug in that. But the problem with that is, I don't know if it's my OCD, but now I've got a big clump of just wires hanging here. Now I've gone and got a couple of twist ties, and I've zip tied them all off, and I've tried to make it as neat and compact as I can, but I still don't like it. It's one of those things, as I'm driving, that down there is irritating the crap out of me because it's moving, it's shifting. I like things to be neat, but because I don't own the truck, I can't really, I can't drill holes, or I can't lift the dash and move wires underneath and do all that. So I'm gonna have to live with it for now. But if I did own this truck, that's exactly what I would have to do, because the way they've got this plugged in, you've got no choice but to have a cascade of wires and crap just hanging in there. And if they're not being used, they're dangling on the floor. And like I said, it's just irritating the hell out of me. The other thing that I didn't like was, and this is, again, this might just be petty, is the CB. The CB radio on this truck, if I'm sitting here and let's just say I'm passing a buddy and I want to grab him, I can grab my mic, but I can't see the CB up here. It sits, it's in a bracket, and Freightliner put a bracket up there, but it sits so far back that I can't really see anything. I can't see what it is. I can't change a channel. I can't do anything with this. So I'm not happy with the CB. I would rather, like, say the CB was on an angle this way in the cabinet, so that all I have to do is look up and I can see on that angle. For me to see the front of this CB, I'd actually have to stand up over here and look at it straight on, because it's almost like this, sitting in the cabinet, tilted back. So I don't like that. That's just my pet peeve, I guess. I'm not impressed with that. Anything else really up here that, there's not a whole lot that I don't like. I like everything so far. The gauges are good, the steering wheel's good, the seat's comfortable, the truck pulls good, the motor is doing what it's supposed to do. It's getting 9 miles to the gallon. Gee, let me complain some more.
Hey guys, my name is Ronen. I am the son of a truck driver and currently working as an operations manager for a medium-sized carrier. I wanted to create a channel in order to unite North American drivers, share my knowledge, educate drivers to become more successful, and hopefully one day to make a positive impact in our industry. As me and my team continue to produce high quality and interesting videos, I do need your support in order to make a difference in this North American market.